Hey there, fellow Pixel Pioneers, and welcome back to the Average Joe Josie channel, where we aim to realize your game creating dreams. In this exciting episode, we're going to show you how to create a playable character in your game. This is where all the real fun begins, so let's jump right in. In the previous video, we covered the basics of adding assets in the form of sprites and objects, and how to change the background color. So if you missed that video, please make sure to check it out. In this video, we'll be covering the following. Creating an object that represents the playable character, allowing the player to control the character using arrow keys, and then implement a camera that follows the playable character, keeping them in the frame at all times. So, without further ado, let's get started. Step 1. Create a playable character. If you've been following our videos, this should be a breeze for you. Go ahead and create a sprite object and name it player. Then you use the P1 stand PNG asset as the animation's only frame. Name this animation idle. Then finally drag an instance of the player object into your game scene. Great job, so there you have it, your player character is born. Now remember that we'll be covering character animation in a later video, so stay tuned for that. Step 2. Adding behaviors. But wait, there's a problem. When you preview the game, the character just sits there and does nothing. Let's add a behavior to the character so that we can control it. To make our character do something, we need to assign a behavior. But what are behaviors in Gdevelop? This is like fun attributes that you add to your object to make it behave in a certain way, so that you don't have to spend hours and hours coding this all in. You tell Gdevelop what kind of object this is, and then the pre-configured settings is added automatically. How awesome is that? Gdevelop has a whole library of behaviors, and today we're going to use the platformer character behavior. You right-click on the player object, select Edit Object, go to the Behaviors tab, click Add a Behavior to the project, choose the platformer character, and then click Apply. Now, if you preview the game, you see you can control the player object by using your arrow keys. But there's a little side effect. Gravity is also pulling them down now. Our character falls out of the frame, which brings us to the next step. Step 3. Adding a camera. To keep our character from falling off the screen, we need to set up a camera that follows them. So let's go do that. Events are all about cause and effect. When something happens, the cause, then something else needs to happen, the effect. It's like when you have a lot of money and then you have a lot of friends. And if you don't have a lot of money, then the friends disappear. When you run the game, Gdevelop checks for the events, see if it meets the conditions, then if it does, a certain action is initiated. To add events, we'll do the following. Open the event editor, click on Add New Event. Without specifying a condition, click Add Condition. This means the action will run every frame, so it's super responsive. Go to Other Actions, expand Layers and Cameras, select Center the camera on an object, choose the player object, and then click OK. Voila! If you now preview the game, you'll see that the camera follows the player as they move, so our character always stays within the frame. I'll add another event in action, which you don't have to worry about now. This event only tells the game that if the player disappears from the screen, then it needs to be repositioned. This is just to show how the character is falling. So, that's the video for today. You've now got a playable character that you can control, and the camera keeps them in view. This is a big step forward in creating your game. Next up, we'll tackle the exciting world of creating platforms for our character to explore. So don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss a thing. Okay, game-making trailblazers, thanks a million for joining me in this pixel-packed adventure. Until the next epic video, let's keep the game-creating juices flowing.